Jerry's not here. Jerry's off at some. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will call the January 5th meeting of the Common Council to order. I will ask our clerk to call the roll to determine a quorum.
Alderperson Reinke.
Here.
Rote.
Here.
Vitale.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
Barzak.
Excused.
Chapletsky.
Here.
Haas.
Here.
Lysick.
Here.
May.
Here.
Probst.
Here.
9 present, 1 excused.
We have a quorum. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will be led this evening by Alderperson Reinke. We have one item up for public hearing this evening. I'll ask our clerk to read item number 1.
A hearing on the special use permit for Wild Toyota, an existing vehicle sales business at 3185 through 3225 and the 3300 block of South 108th Street to amend their existing special use permit to include vehicle repair on property located at 3185 South 108th Street.
Mr. Stiebel?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the southeastern or southwestern part of the city, off right of Highway 100 is the existing Toyota dealership. The public hearing this evening is for the northern part of the property, and the basic difference is this property is currently their used car sales facility and will now be converted into a service bay area. And it's about 0.6 acres of the entire, nearly 8 acres of the entire site. Part of the reason for this is that many of you have driven by the building and have seen on the north side these poles holding up the wall. There was a major structural problem to the roof as a result of its initial construction. This area is about 2 acres of rooftop parking, where there's some employee parking, some repaired vehicles, and some vehicles for sale that are being prepped, I should say. And that is crumbling, and it needs to be replaced. So what they want to be able to do is to, they've got about 40 bays, take about 9 bays at a time out of this area here, put them into this building while they take off the roof and repair the roof. And they'll just keep switching different bays into this until they get completed. This land area is zoned C4, which requires a special use for the change of use of this building, and that's the primary purpose of the public hearing. This currently bay, if you may recall, used to be the animal hospital. To the west of it was Gordy Boucher had some land that they used to park cars on. They're going to remodel this so that they could put service bays in there. Also, they could prep new cars. They'll also have a bay set aside for the internet, photographing for internet sales. This is the existing building with its glass bays, and that'll be the windows that'll be, the glass doors that'll be put in there. They've got about 230 employees, all but 19 of them I think are full-time, so they have a lot of employment in this area. And as you can see from the look of the building, it's going to stay principally looking the same, if not even slightly better. Interestingly enough, since 9/11, cars have stayed on the road a lot longer, on average about 4 years longer. I think the average car is 12 years old, which is increasing the need for auto repair. And with this increasing need and demand for auto repair and the structural problems of the building, that's the purpose of the public hearing this evening. I also want to just mention, you may have read already that in February we're going to have another public hearing, and that is to look at this property in here, which they've owned since 2005 or 6 or whatever it is, to put that into employee parking. That is not part of this public hearing. We'll be talking about that later, even though we'll be taking off all the driveway accesses, so they'll all be internal. But the public hearing this evening is about the reuse, the repurposing of this facility. The Plan Commission has reviewed this project and has recommended approval. And if you have any questions, I or a representative of the owner would be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Stiebel. Are there any comments or questions from the Common Council?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Weigel.
John, I was just wondering, Are they gonna rebuild and be able to use the rooftop again for vehicle parking, or are they not gonna be, I thought that was innovative and it was a good use of the space.
Yes, they will. There's about 150 cars could park up there, so it's a significant amount of time there. They're going to be putting primarily vehicles to be repaired or vehicles just repaired to get them off the public view, so it's really, really kind of nice for the city.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the council?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Probst?
John, you said that they were going to be using the used car area to turn this into the repair area. Are they going to be relocating their used cars, or are they getting rid of it? What are they doing with what was
The
there?
used car sales will be in the main building.
Okay. All right.
Are there any other comments or questions from the common council? Seeing none, are there any comments or questions from the members of the audience? Seeing none, we will close our public hearing. And we will move on to item E on your agendas. This is citizen participation, which is an opportunity for residents to address the council on matters of interest to them. We ask that you keep your comments to approximately 5 minutes. Does anybody wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
I'm Yuri Ksenia, I live at 1131 South 89th Street. I just had two thoughts that I kind of prepared for today. The first is a shout out I wanted to give out to the West Allis Police Department. A week ago, actually day after Christmas, I was walking on Greenfield Avenue and I noticed a sludge-like line on lane going towards the bridge over next to Schlinger Avenue. And I actually called the police department and informed them about that sludge. And the next morning when I was there again, it was all gone. So I just wanted to extend my appreciation towards the timely removal of sludge, which I have no doubt would cause many more issues for many cars that pass in that area. And the second thought I have is I'd like to invite everyone who is watching and listening to the Friends of La Folle Park meeting coming up on Monday, January 11th at 7 p.m. in the La Folle Park Pavilion, second, or rather upper portion. We have a couple of exciting events coming up in February, March, and we always love seeing your faces. So I'd like to invite everyone to attend if they wish, and something to look forward to in the next 2 months when we have cold weather.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to address the council under citizen participation this evening? Ask that we get your name and address for the record and then sign in either before or after your comments.
I was planning on it. Joseph Stawicki, 1446 South 71. I've got several concerns here regarding the job that was done on the plowing last week with the storm. I'd like to know what the priorities are as far as what gets plowed when. I understand that the bus routes, the emergency routes, major arterials all get plowed first. And in the past, just so you don't think I'm some complainer, I have called the Department of Public Works and complimented the people on the job that's been done. But I feel at this time the ball was really dropped. And I live on 71st, and I'm listed for a transplant. So for me, it's important for me to have access to my car to be able to get in and out in case I need to go to the freighter to the medical college. And, you know, I left my house on Monday night during a storm to move my car and get some groceries for my neighbor lady. I take care of some elderly people in my neighborhood as well. And, you know, I stopped and, you know, closed up a local watering hole. And, you know, and after that, I went and got gas, and then I rode around all night. Went through a half a tank of gas in my car, waiting for the street, for 71st Street to get plowed. And in doing so, I drove all over the city. And, you know, around McCarty Park, it was plowed curb to curb. And south and west, it was plowed curb to curb. They didn't get to 71st Street till after 9 a.m. when I got home. Nothing was done. Parking lots weren't plowed till after that. And I went and did an errand then, and came back at noon, and they were finally plowing 71st Street. And I know the snow was heavy, there was higher moisture content and all that, but this isn't the first time it's ever snowed in West Allis. And, you know, I feel that, you know, the ball was dropped. There was a car that was abandoned in the 2200 block of 7-1. The thing was sitting at a 45-degree angle for at least 2 hours. Wasn't towed. It should have been. It was out in the middle of the street. There was only one little lane to get around it. And, you know, that was not good. And then also, I also have concerns, and this is something that I've always been concerned about. I've been an advocate for the elderly and disabled all my life because I was raised around elderly people. And I've noticed now it's a week later, and there's a lot of areas that don't comply with the ADA as far as snow removal. One is which when I came here tonight, coming down the alley, you know, the alley was plowed here at the end of on Orchard Street here, and there's a huge ridge, and then nobody bothered to shovel it. And there's crosswalks areas that haven't been shoveled. I'm wondering why that. You know, I'm looking for some answers here to find out why that people are coming to work at the businesses on Greenfield Avenue. They had nowhere to park because the lots weren't plowed out. And other streets that don't have that kind of traffic, side streets and stuff, were plowed curb to curb. And I know that there's procedures that are followed. So what happened? In the past, it's always been done real well.
Sir, you have 1 minute remaining.
Okay, so answer the question.
Have you been to these before, Mr. Stawicki?
Not for a long time.
All right, because of open meetings, potential violations of the open meetings laws, this is not an opportunity for debate and interaction. This is just an opportunity for us to listen. Because we could, as our city attorney advises, go into some areas that aren't agendized, and it would violate the open meetings laws.
Okay.
So we can talk to you during recess, or, you know, after the meeting, something like that, or just during business hours. You could call your alderman or myself.
Or I know it's in the calendar that there's a meeting of the Public Works Committee next week, Monday. Is that where that would be addressed?
I think the easiest thing would be just to give your alderperson or myself a call, and we can try to get in touch with the superintendent of Public Works and have a discussion.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
Hi, Robert Brown. I head the Christian Civil Liberties Union, and I would bring up a couple things to you. One is the mosque moving into the St. Elevrites property. It's in South Milwaukee, but what's going on is all over the cities in Greenfield and wherever these mosques are popping up. And what's going on, the people are not informed what's going on. We've been down at the mosque on 13th and Layden for some time, since 9/11. And an example, when the Paris attack was going on, we were on the sidewalk, cars stopped, people got out, screamed at us, threatened us. That's nothing new down there. The TVs, like Channel 6, allows a spokesperson from the mosque on 13th Street to get on the TV and say how they work with all the Christian groups and the religious groups. I can stand up in front of you and under oath tell you that's a big lie. They don't. There's a lot of trouble down there. Last time we were there, after the shooting in California, there were 3 squad cars. Had nothing to do with us, just parked out there. There's a lot of trouble, and people don't know it. And the reason I'm bringing this up is nobody seems to care or get involved. I do, and some of the problems I'm worried about in the schools, that they're stopping the Christian religions from being used, and they're using the Islamic rules. They've got footbaths, they got the women wearing the burqas, and all kinds of things are going on. I think that you should be aware of it, that you might want to go down to, even though it's not in your area, I know where South Milwaukee is. You might want to go down there on the 19th at 7 o'clock. They're going to be discussing it. The Catholic Church turned over this old building. It was built in 1900, and they turned it over to the people that want to start the mosque there. The problem is the neighbors weren't notified. I wonder what would happen in West Ellis if you guys tried to pull that stuff. Disrupt the neighborhood with a huge mosque like that without letting them come to the council and speak. So that's why I wanted to bring it up to your attention. I've got a lot more, but I realize we only got 5 minutes to talk down here. And I don't know how much of this you're aware of, what's going on in the schools, which might be becoming the West Ellis, some of these things that are so bad. And if you say anything against anybody that's a Muslim, you're called all kinds of swear words. You're a bigot. It's like if you say anything against the homosexuals lately, there's something rotten with you, you're mentally ill. And that's the same thing that's going on with, now, one more quick thing, the Sharia law. We've got some of the things that's in there. I have a Quran at home and I've studied it. One of the things going on with the Sharia law is, as you understand what's going on in the foreign countries, if you rape somebody 9 years old or over, that's okay as long as Allah would be praised with it, because then the person who is allowed, all men are allowed 4 wives, and they can have Muslim babies. So that's what pleases Allah, and that's fine. How would you like that going on in the United States? Might be happening soon. We all know about some of the other things that's allowed under the Sharia law. Somebody steals, we know you cut off their hands, and if they don't want to become a Muslim, you're certainly allowed to kill them. You can cut off cut their throats. You can crucify them. There are a lot of laws going on.
Mr. Braun, you have 1 minute remaining.
I'll let somebody else talk for that minute. I think I've said enough here, and I wonder if anybody really will get interested in this. You probably won't, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention anyway, because I do spend a lot of time in these things. I have other things to do. I'm 80 years old, and you know, it takes a lot of time and effort. I did organize this for I know what I can mention with this minute. If anybody's more interested, you can look me up under Christian Civil Liberties Union Milwaukee in Facebook. There's a lot more information. It shows a lot what's going on in the foreign countries, a lot more about these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will close citizen participation. We will move on to item F on our agendas. Our standing committees will be meeting during recess tonight. Those room numbers are listed on page 1 of your agendas. Item G, the mayor's report. I just have a handful of things tonight. I want to thank everybody who attended and made the New Year's Eve family night through the CAD, Community Alliance Against Drugs event happen. It was a great success. There were probably close to 500 people. I know Alderman Rote and I were working on the wristbands again this year. And I want to also thank Lisa Bergman and Lieutenant Jeff Nolte, as well as the CAD board, for their work on this event. The Community Services Bureau of the West Ellis Police Department is now accepting applications for the 2016 Spring Citizen Police Academy. This is a 10-week course designed to designed rather to provide citizens with a firsthand look at the operations of the police department. They will be instructed in basic procedures and participate in some of the training officers received. It is held every Tuesday from March 15th through May 17th from 7 to 10 p.m. It is a big commitment, but everybody who has participated in this said it has been incredibly valuable in getting them a better understanding of how the West Dallas Police Department goes about their business day in, day out. There is more information on the website. Individuals have to be 18 years old and live, work, or own property in the city of West Dallas. Now that we finally have snow, I want to just remind everybody to clear your fire hydrants in your neighborhood. The few minutes you take to clear them now may save you a few crucial minutes should you ever need them because of a fire. There is also more information on the city website about this and the Adopt a Hydrant program as well. And the last thing, I just want to thank and congratulate the MAC Fund and all the volunteers again at Candy Cane Lane. This year they raised over $113,000 to fight childhood cancer. So once again, great success, great event in our community. That wraps up the mayor's report this evening. Do we have any alderpersons' reports?
Mayor Devine.
Alderman Weigel?
I just want to remind everybody that January is Blood Donor Month. Especially this year with the holidays, the way they fell on weekends, a lot of the people who donate regularly didn't make their scheduled appointments. The weather will be tough. You know, obviously January is a tough month, and it's a month when people get busy with other things and kind of maybe forget about it. There is a blood drive going to be hosted right here at City Hall next Tuesday. It's going to be downstairs in the gallery, newly kind of renovated space made available for events like this. So it's next Tuesday, January 12th from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. You can just drop in and give blood. If you haven't done it before, I'll say it's relatively painless. There's a little, up at the front end, there's some paperwork and there's a little at the beginning. You can just drop in or you can call and make an appointment. And the number to call is 414-897-1062. That's 1062. 897-1062. To say you want to make an appointment for next Tuesday's blood drive here at the West Dallas City Hall. Thank you.
Last time I donated, Alderman Weigel, I almost went down. So if anybody who does donate wants to also attend and help carry me back up to my chair when I'm done,
There's cots, you know that.
welcome that as well. Any other reports from the alderpersons this evening?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick?
I move for approval of the minutes of the Common Council regular meeting of December 15th, 2015.
Second?
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Probst. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I'll ask for a motion to refer items 3, 4, and 5 to the city attorney.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Alderman Weigel, second by Alderman May. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Standing committee reports this evening, we have none.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move that we stand in recess until conclusion of the committee meetings.
There's a motion. There's a second by Alderman Reinke. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are in recess.